Jai Gurudev. I was supposed to read today, right? Oh, सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् we were supposed to read from whatever helps is useful. By the time others join, I'll just read the paragraph, earlier two paragraphs. Any target is called Laksha. Any implied meaning is also called Laksha. As we have seen before, what is aimed at here is Laksha, and the Laksha is very clear. The means also are very clear. I do not choose Karma Yoga thinking that it will deliver goods. I choose it knowing full well it is Jnana that delivers the goods. A Karma Yogi pursues knowledge while at the same time living a life of Karma Yoga. In this, the Karma Yogi has Nishchaya, a clarity that about the goal. The person has no delusions whatsoever. He or she may practice asanas, pranayama, and various other disciplines. A number of rituals may also be performed. However, whatever is done is meant for only one purpose. This integration is clear to the Karma Yogi because he or she knows that these karmas themselves will not produce knowledge. The purpose of the various disciplines is clear. This then it this then is what is meant by clarity. No karma is discounted or dismissed, nor it is mistaken for a means to an end that it cannot produce. Therefore, a karma yogi will not complain later that he or she tried everything, none of which helped at all. Whatever helps is useful. People actually say these things. I tried all this and it did not work. It is all a trip. They do not know what they tried it all for. Whatever you try can help in some way or the other if it is done properly. It is also true that something that helps one person may not help another. For instance, two people may have same disease with the same symptoms, but only one will be helped by a particular treatment and another may actually be harmed by it. There are hundreds of disciplines and cures for varieties of diseases, but they do not help everyone because each of them has its own limitation. No one really knows what his particular medicine will do. Researchers may have watched its effects on rats, but how it will work, how it will act on human being in a male body as opposed to a female body, an Indian stomach as opposed to Western stomach, they do not know. What happens when you eat meat instead of brown rice is not really known either. It is all guesswork and prayer. Because everything has its own limitations, there is no last word. uh, Maybe during Manana, can we discuss this? As long as you understand that you do a certain thing for a certain purpose and do not have any delusion about it, everything is fine. You do not become faddist, nor do you think that this is or that will deliver what it cannot. Only jnana will deliver, and for the sake of jnana, you have to do what is to be done, which requires vichara, inquiry. It is the thing that produces the knowledge that will deliver. If for the sake of that knowledge you think you need to do this or that to be able to know, then do it. I'll read this again. As long as you understand that you do a certain thing for certain purpose and do not have any delusion about it, everything is fine. You do not become a faddist, nor you think that this or that will deliver what it cannot. Only jnana will deliver, and for the sake of jnana, you have to do what is to be done, which requires vichara, inquiry. It is the thing that produces the knowledge that will deliver. If, for the sake of that knowledge, you think you need to do this or that to be able to know, then do it. Shankara says here that Viveka being there, the mind is single pointed. Eka buddhihi bhavati. Shankara says here that Viveka being there, the mind is single pointed. Eka buddhihi bhavati. Suppose, however, that the laksha, the human end, is not very clear. What kind of buddhi will be there? It will be a buddhi that is dissipated in many pursuits without any definite direction. Those who have no vyavasaya are those with no viveka buddhi. Those who have no vyavasaya are those with no viveka buddhi, no discrimination. They definitely do not have the knowledge born out of pramana through the study of the Shastra. They have no such clarity, and for them there are many branches, bahushakhas, countless means and countless ends, all of which are in the buddhi, so that the person wants to do many things at the same time, finally, not doing even one of them properly. Time management, therefore, becomes an enormous problem. So, those who have no vyavasaya are those with no viveka buddhi, no discrimination. They definitely do not have the knowledge born out of pramana through the study of Shastra. They have no such clarity, and for them there are many branches, bahushakhas, countless means and countless ends, all of all of which are in the buddhi, so that the person wants to do many things at the same time, finally not doing even one of them properly. Time management, therefore, becomes an enormous problem. To say this job I will do now and this one I will do later means that you have only one buddhi, to say nothing of having only one body. However, suppose you want to do all of them and are not very clear about which one you want to do first, what happens is that you cannot even start. Similarly, when it is very clear to you that this knowledge, this freedom is what you want in life, then everything becomes karma yoga for you, even marriage. In fact, marriage is yoga. Here, both the parents together live in a life of karma yoga, preparing themselves for this knowledge. Having pointed out the difference in understanding, Krishna talks about those who are not clear about the end to be accomplished in life. I'll read this paragraph again. Without clarity, priorities are a problem. To say, this job I will do now and this one I will do later means that you have only one buddhi, to say nothing of having only one body. However, suppose you want to do all of them and are not very clear about which one you want to do first, what happens is that you cannot even start. Similarly, when it is clear to you that this knowledge, this freedom is what you want in life, then everything becomes karma yoga for you, even marriage. In fact, marriage is yoga. Here, both the partners together live a life of karma yoga, preparing themselves for this knowledge. Having pointed out the difference in understanding, Krishna talks about those who are not clear about the end to be accomplished in life. यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्त्यविपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्य नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्त्यविपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्य नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मान स्वर्गपराः जन्मकर्मफलप्रदां क्रियाविशेषबहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति पार्थ, O son of Pritha, avipaschitah, Those who do not see clearly. Veda Vadarataha. Sorry. Those who remain engrossed in Karma Kanda portion of Veda. Veda Vadarataha. Those who remain engrossed in the Karma Kanda portion of Veda. Anyata. Anything else. Na asti. Is not. Iti. Thus. Vadinaha. Those who argue. Kamatmanaha. Those who are full of desires. Swargaparaha. Those with heaven as their highest goal. Bhoga Aishwarya Gatim Prati. For the sake of attainment of pleasure and power. Janma Karma Phalapradam. Leading to a better birth as a result of their actions. Kriya Vishesha Bahulam. Full of special rituals. Yam Imam. These. Pushpitam. Flowery. Vacham. Words. Pravadanti. Utter. पार्थ अविपश्चितः वेदवादरताः अन्यत न अस्ति इति वादिनः कामात्मनः स्वर्गपराः भोग ऐश्वर्य गतिं प्रति जन्म कर्म फल प्रदां क्रिया विशेष बहुलां याम इमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्ति. O son of Pritha, the non-discriminating people who remain engrossed in karma, enjoined by the Veda and its results, arguing that there is nothing other than this. Those who are full of desires, with heaven as their highest goal for the attainment of pleasure and power, utter these flowery words that talk of many special rituals that are capable of giving better births and various results of actions. Those who see clearly are called vipaschits, and avipaschits means the opposite. Those who do not see clearly. They have no vyavasayatmika buddhi. There are people who may see but not clearly. And there are those who do not see at all. Krishna is talking about here about the people who see but not very clearly, who study and believe in veracity of the Vedas, but miss the most important teaching of the Vedas, namely the Atma-jnana. They believe in the existence of soul after death because it is stated so in the Vedas. They believe in the efficacy of various rituals mentioned in the Vedas for accomplishing various ends, and they believe in the ends also, like heaven and a better birth. They believe in capacity of a given ritual to produce a particular desirable result.
प्रेम संदीप को जल्दी जाना है, 8 बजे कह रहे हैं चाय दे देना मेरे को, ये ऐसी बस उससे दे दे धो के खाली.
Savita, can you please mute yourself?
I'm sorry.
No problem. So those who see clearly are called vipaschits, and those who do not see clearly are avipaschits. They believe in Vedas, but they miss the most important teaching of Vedas, namely Atma-jnana. They believe in the rituals and believe in the ends also, like heaven, better birth, and the capacity of the rituals of produce a particular desirable result. Therefore, these are not ordinary people. They are people who have studied the Shastra and who believe in its validity. This is why Krishna used the words avipaschit, meaning that these people see and yet they do not see. They are the people who are not to be dismissed because they have studied the scriptures. Shankara criticizes them here because they have all the words and some arguments which they back up by quoting selected verses. They talk, argue, and try to convince others also. Yam imam pushpitam vacham pravadanti. They use they use very well known words. Prasiddha vak. They use very well known words. Prasiddha vak. Words that are very flowery. There are some trees like magnolia trees in which when they flower nothing but the flowers can be seen, although the leaves and the branches are there. They are hidden by the flowers. These people are like trees because they speak words which are as attractive as flowery blossoming tree. Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. Shankara also uses another expression. Shruya manaha ramananiya. Ramananiya. Shruyamana, Shruyamanaha Ramananiya, meaning very nice to hear. As you hear the words, they are very pleasing and wonderful to the ear. But in fact, they are all just so much hype. Such words are used because people who do not have Eka Buddhi, who have not ascertained what they have to accomplish in life, they do not see things very clearly. Those who do not have this Viveka reveal in parts of the Veda that talk of means and ends that exclude Vedanta portion. They are the Vedavada Ratas. Let me know if you want me to read this paragraph again. They may even study Vedanta, but only use it for the sake of rituals. These people reveal in many of the Veda Vakyas because they state clearly that they will get and the means sadhana you must employ for gaining it. There are rituals for having children, restoring health, removing certain obstacles you may have, and so on. How these elaborate rituals are to be done is also stated. In other words, there is an answer for everything in Karma Kanda of the Veda. Believing in all these statements and performing certain karmas because one wants to accomplish various ends is fine. But the Vedavadaratas argue that there is nothing other than karma. They say that you must do karma and you must accomplish all these various ends. They say that you should not fritter away this life, and of course, we say the same thing. You are given this one life, and we do not know what sorry, you are given this one life, and we do not know about the next one. There may be a next life, or there may not be. Even if a next life does exist, you may be born a frog, and end up on the table of experimental purposes. The legs go onto someone else's plate, and the body goes to the anatomy department of some medical college. Therefore, this life is only one we can count on. The way the Vadaratas say that karma alone is to be done. For them, the greatest gain, moksha, is heaven, swarga. They also talk about this life, saying that the greatest gain is wealth. In other words, the goal is 100% success here and in the hereafter also. This is how they talk. And why do they talk this way? So, for Veda Vadaratas, for here, gaining wealth is the success, and hereafter, gaining the heaven. That is moksha for them. The people being described here are those who are nothing but desires, kamat manaha. Kamat manaha. The people being described here are those who are nothing but desires, kamat manaha. It is not they have desires. It is not that they have desires. They are made up of desires alone. There is difference. Going to heaven is the highest end for them. They are Swargaparas. Thus, there are a lot of desires for them to fulfill here on the earth and then for the hereafter. Heaven is ultimate goal. The result of karma is always another birth, janma, in one form or other. All the karma phalas that you have gathered ends up in this way. Therefore, we have flowery words, pushpita, vak. Of those who talk about better birth later being the result of karma gathered, they talk words that are jnana karma phalaprada. These words are in the form of statements such as next time you will be born a prince, you will be born with golden spoon in your mouth, and so on. Kriya Vishesha Bahula is yet another adjective used by Krishna to describe the words spoken by these people. Words that reveal the many and the varied karmas for attaining pleasure and power. Bhoga Aishwarya Gatim Prati. Bhoga is pleasure and Aishwarya is power, overlordship. You want power and overlordship because you cannot accept the helplessness that you feel. And so the words, next time you will become a king, or in your next birth you will be Indra, the ruler of heaven, are all very pleasant to hear. People's minds seem to be carried away by them. Thus, Krishna lamented their plight here. Not only are they themselves carried away by these words, their conviction is their conviction in their belief is such that they become missionaries and make sure they convince a few other people too. The real reason for their missionary zeal is that they are not that sure. Their belief is only a belief. After all, believers have to become missionaries because belief means there is a doubt, and doubt means you require some strength. If you can manage to convince one person, then you feel secure. There is mutual strength, and one helps the other. Groups are created in this way so that each member will have the support of all other members. I'll read this paragraph. Thus Krishna lamented their plight here. Not only are they themselves carried away by these words, their conviction in their belief is such that they become missionaries and make sure they convince a few other people too. The real reason for their missionary zeal is that they are not that sure. Their belief is only a belief. After all, believers have to become missionaries because belief means there is a doubt, and doubt means you require some strength. If you can manage to convince another person, then you feel secure. There is mutual strength and one helps the other. Groups are created in this way so that each member will have the support of all the other members. The minds of those who are carried away by these enticing flowery words do not stay with the pursuit of Vedanta. With reference to what one must gain, there is no real clarity because this clarity cannot take place in the minds carried away by such words. The idea here is that if you do not allow yourself to be carried away by words, if you look into them, you will find you will find that they fall apart. And if the words are not looked into, you will find that they are very pleasing and attractive. Therefore, people who have no discrimination are easily carried off by them. So here it says mm, something about the missionaries, but are we not forming groups to talk about Bhagavad Gita, take supports of each other? How it is different than these people?
I think those people preach that their way of life is the best way and they should follow that route and leave everything else. Here we are discussing life, how to live life through Bhagavad Gita and learning that. There is no pressure or there is nothing of that sort. Because mostly those people convert and then they preach, that yeah, Jesus is the way instead of being open to everything and uh, preaching the way to live life.
Uh, I think here it is mentioned not a particular dharma, even in people who are reading the Vedas, only they are convinced about the Veda part, the Karma Kanda part. The Vedanta, they have not, mm, they don't follow the Vedanta. That is the end result is moksha. That they don't believe or they don't know. They just follow the karma kanda part, and that's what the um, end for them, heaven and the success in this life. So they form. This is what is meant over here. I feel. Um,
Oh yes. Oh
They
yes.
should.
I was. Oh yeah. I got confused regarding the
Yeah.
Christian missionaries. Yeah.
No, I am very. I mean, the doubt came when we say that we make a groups like here, or we discuss, or we want to convince others. I felt that we to do this, right? Even art of living, we try to preach people, or we want them to believe, and it's not for, and we feel that it is for their good. So how it is different than these? What is the word for them? Uh,
No, no. In Art of Living, we don't convince them. We just make them aware, and it is for them to decide uh,
And
to
also
take
we
the
don't
route.
convert them. We don't convert
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah.
Vipashchits and
We don't force
avipashchits.
them
Yeah,
anyways. Hmm.
yeah.
Art of living is total Advaita. If you look at all that is there, starting from, and these are the means, yoga, Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, all these are to set in that discipline, and there is knowledge along with that. So it's not a limited end. It is showing you your highest human potential of what you are. If you look at what Gurudev talks of, um, every person, every human has this birthright of having a disease-free body, a dilemma-free mind, a stress-free mind, a judgment-free intellect, a trauma-free memory, and an ego that accepts all, and a sorrow-free soul. So he's talking of the highest. So art of living and what we are doing here in this group, in this Manana group, is pursuing Vedanta, pursuing Advaita, the highest knowledge, highest truth. Whereas the missionaries that this Swamiji is being talking about here in this Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham Shloka is those that have limited ends. For them, it is only Artha Kama, and then for them, moksha is just Svarga Paraha. They think heaven is the ultimate. So they have this doubt, and in order to strengthen to give their insecurity strength, they tell other people to follow what they are doing. So when they have another person come in, it kind of gives them that solace. Yes, yes, what I'm doing is right. But in fact, what it is just reaching out to a limited end. That is a missionary. The difference between a missionary and an Advaitin, a Vedantin is this. A Vedantin knows, has that Viveka, Atma, Anatma Viveka, knows what is real, unreal, has that discrimination, whereas the person who tends to become a missionary, who is a Yamimam Pushpitam Bacham, they get all, it's all very nice and flowery. You do this and you'll get this. It's all talking about comfort in this life and hereafter. But it's not talking beyond that. So it is limited ends and limited vision. And what Lavlinji mentioned about art of living is, yes, what we do is just sowing seeds. We're leading the path. We're just putting those seeds so that they get onto the path and make a difference. We're not holding them by hook or crook and then asking them to move in. No, it's up to them. We're just making them aware that, hey, listen, there is this path. There is this thing that you can do for your own self.
Should I hit further?
So whenever we encounter such things, it is important for us to have this discrimination.
That's what it is says. The idea here is that if you do not allow, okay, I'll read this. The minds of those who are carried away by these enticing flowery words do not stay with the pursuit of Vedanta. With reference to what one must gain, there is no real clarity because this clarity cannot take place in the minds carried away by such words. The idea here is that if you do not allow yourself to be carried away by words, if you look into them, you will find that they fall apart. And if the words are not looked into, you will find that they are very pleasing and attractive. Therefore, people who have no discrimination are easily carried off by them.
Again, this does not mean that a karma yogi will not do, say, his nitya karma, prayers, pujas, like a karma kandi does. The only shift is in his attitude. A karma kandi will be doing it for a limited gain, for comfort here or hereafter, whereas a karma yogi will do it for just getting that antakarana shuddhi, just to polish himself inside, clean up inside. So he does this out of this attitude. And there is that discipline, whether it is yoga, whether it is kriya, whether it's meditation, whether it's nitya karma, sandhya vandana, any daily prayers, chanting, japa, any of this. The end is very clear. The means and the end are clear for a karma yogi. They're also clear for a karma kandi, but then they are limited. The idea of moksha is different.
What about the other desires which come along with the desire for moksha?
They can
As
be
long
there.
as Hmm.
They can be there. See, as long as we're living in this world, of course there will be desires. Without sankalpa, without that thing, nothing can be done. When China talks about when you're walking past a restaurant and you smell masala dosa, your stomach is already full or you've had your meal, the desire for masala dosa will sprout. But then are you pushed by your actions are pushed by your ragas and dveshas, or are your actions governed by what is to be done? If you are pushed just by raga dveshas, you will go, even though your tummy is full, or eat breakfast at home, your mind will go to the masala dosa. Whereas, if same thing with preferences. So whether or not your desire is fulfilled, a karma yogi remains centered, is not swayed, is not so disturbed by them them being fulfilled, not fulfilled. Because why? he takes every outcome as prasada. So that hold that ragadveshas have, so the desire may be there, but the outcome of the desire does not disturb this person. And then as you go on this path, your desires also will become more and more sattvic. The samskaras will be laid in such a way that instead of doing something which is not very productive, you would choose those things that are more productive. That yeah.
Anybody else wants to share? Otherwise, I can read the next one. भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते. Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam. For those who pursue pleasure and power exclusively. Daya, by those words. Aprahata Chetasam. Those minds are robbed away. Vyavasayatmika, well ascertained buddhi. Well ascertained, sorry. Buddhi, understanding. Samadhau, in the mind. Na vidhiyate, does not take place. Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Aprahata Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi Samadhau Na Vidhiyate. For those who pursue pleasure and power exclusively, whose minds are robbed away by those flowery words, well ascertained understanding does not take place in their mind. Krishna had already unfolded the knowledge of Sankhya, and then he asked Arjuna to listen to the knowledge unfolded into Karma Yoga. Thus, when Krishna praised yoga in terms of Karma Yoga, as he did here, Sankhya was not being discussed at all. After something is praised by comparing it to something else, sorry. After something is praised by comparing it to something else. In Krishna's praise of Karma Yoga, there was a comparison to pure karma, karma done with a particular result in mind, the karma that is done with the thinking, I perform this karma for this given result alone. The result phala of pure karma is always limited. This is not the karma done for the sake of antakarna shuddhi, for purifying the mind, so that moksha will be gained. When karma is done in this manner for antakarna shuddhi, then the commitment is to moksha alone and you become mumukshu. This is what we call yoga. I'll read this again. Krishna had already unfolded the knowledge of Sankhya, and then he asked Arjuna to listen to the knowledge unfolded about Karma Yoga. Thus, when Krishna praised yoga in terms of Karma Yoga, as he did it here, Sankhya was not being discussed at all. Often something is praised by comparing it to something else. In Krishna's praise of Karma Yoga, there was a comparison to pure karma, karma done with particular result in mind, the karma that is done with the thinking, I perform this karma for this given result alone. The result phala of pure karma is always limited. Uh, what does that mean? The result phala of pure karma is always limited. This is not the karma done for the sake of antakarna shuddhi. Okay. For purifying the mind. Yeah. So that moksha will be gained. Then karma is done in this manner for antakarna shuddhi. Then committed is to moksha alone and you become mumukshu. This is what we call yoga. The karma which is done with a particular result in the mind, the karma that is done with the thinking, I perform this karma for the given result alone, the result phala of the pure karma is always limited. Yeah.
So this is the difference between pure karma and karma yoga,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So any pure karma you do, only karma that you do, the result will be limited. Whereas when you're doing it with an attitude of karma yoga, there is that inner polishing that is happening. Because the end is not important for the end of that karma is not important for you. The outcome is not so important. Because whatever the outcome, you have started doing it, whatever the outcome, you are stable inside. So the only end that you're looking for is that neutralizing the raga dveshas. And that is what is antakarana shuddhi, right? What is antakarana shuddhi? Neutralizing raga dveshas.
Here the pure karma, the karma phala could be the punya which you will gain, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Punya or papa, whichever it is.
When it is said pure karma, it could be then punya, isn't it?
I think when he says pure karma here, the meaning was pure karma versus karma yoga.
Hmm.
Because according to the karma kandins, if you do the, say, a ritual like how it is prescribed, you get punya. If there is any deviation in your krama, there's some, you've not followed the krama, then you'll end up with papa. So they
Hmm.
have both punya papa embedded in their actions,
Right.
right? So that kind of karma, yes, has limited ends, which can be either punya or papa. Whereas any action done by a karma yogi with a karma yogi attitude, karma yoga attitude, there is only one result, which is antakarna shuddhi. And beyond this, the ultimate end is moksha through jnana.
Karma is generally done for the sake of limited result. whether the karma is worldly, laukika karma, or scripturally based Vaidika karma. The karmas that are done for gaining certain limited results are called ka- kamya karma. The Shastra includes heaven also as a result of kamya karma. Kama is generally done for the sake of limited result. Whether the karma is worldly, laukika karma, or scripturally based Vaidika karma. The karmas that are done for gaining certain limited results are called kamya karma. The Shastra includes heaven also as a result of kamya karma. The people under discussion in this verse know the Veda and quote it, but only for the purpose of establishing the glories of karma and their results. Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. Words that are very flowery and pleasing to ear are used in this way by these people, and they talk about various karmas that can be done for the sake of gaining enjoyments, bhoga, and overlordship, Aishwarya, meaning the wielding of power. Enjoyment and power are only two purposes for which such people dedicate their entire lives. And committed as they are not their own desires, they also talk a great deal about it. The word Aishwarya means overlordship, implying different degrees of power. For example, a policeman controls people's driving habits. This is one kind of Aishwarya. Then there is a police inspector who controls all the policemen in his station and a commissioner who controls the inspectors. There is also someone else above the commissioner. The power wielded by all these people is in different degrees and represents different kinds of Aishwarya. I think we are almost towards the end. If someone wants to share, I'll read these two paragraphs again. The people under discussion in this verse know the Veda and quote it, but only for the purpose of establishing the glories of karma and their results. Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. Words that are very flowery and pleasing to the ear are used in this way by these people, and they talk about various karmas that can be done for the sake of gaining enjoyment, bhoga, and overlordship, Aishwarya, meaning the wielding of power. Enjoyment and power are the only two purposes for which such people dedicate their entire lives. The committed as they are to their own desires, they also talk a great deal about it. The word Aishwarya means overlordship, implying different degrees of power. For example, a policeman controls people's driving habits. This is one kind of Aishwarya. Then there is a police inspector who controls all the policemen in his station and a commissioner who controls the inspectors. There is also someone else above the commissioner. The power wielded by all these people is in different degrees and represent different kinds of Aishwarya. Without Viveka, confusion is endless. We will take this tomorrow. Does anyone want to do Manana, or else I can put the meditation?
These two shlokas are very important for a sadhak to understand properly. So we know exactly what is that clarity comes on in the mind.
One question here: if I mute myself, still you will be able to hear, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
because you're sharing from your phone.
Desktop, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're sharing audio, right? You're sharing this optimizing video. Just play it. Let me.
Meditation.
Yes, it's audible. You can mute yourself.
Accepting this moment is
Loka samastha sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu.
accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Except those parts of the body where you feel a tension, the other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here will lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the effort. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently open your eyes.